Now, my young apprentice, today I'm going to teach you about the dark side. Okay, I give up. I can't do the Emperor. Hello and welcome to my new series I call the Imperial Guides. Now a blatant ripoff of my operator guides I did a year ago. Today I'm going to teach you how to play one of the most hardest characters in the game, Chief Emperor Palpatine. Now Palpatine is not your typical villain. In fact, he doesn't even hold a lightsaber. Well, he does, but he never uses it because he actually hates lightsabers. So his only primary attack is of course Force Lightning. But I'm going to give you a few tips on how to properly play with him. Let's start with his weapon. The only type of offensive capabilities the Emperor has is his Force Lightning. Now his lightning has two modes, the single and the double light. The single hand is, well, obviously you fire lightning from one hand, which honestly isn't that good. It isn't that good at even tickling your enemies. But it does take a while before your stamina runs out, that's a plus. Now the double hand lightning, which I actually find useful, but still not practical enough. I have roughly tested it. It takes around 10 seconds to defeat a hero, not a trooper, a hero. That actually takes way too long to kill someone. Here, have a look at what I did. By what I mean when I say 10 seconds.
Kada je Chewbacca sa 5 ogledaka ono ubi cijelih mojih 1000 HP, onda znaš da je strgan lik skroz. Mislim, Chewbacca strga Vadera ko da ništa.
Second attempt. Yeah, I think you were shocked to find out it really isn't that practical to one-on-one someone like an idiot. Now for troopers it takes around 2 or 4 seconds. Each trooper is different. Some have low health while some have a lot. Let's go for the abilities right now. His first one is a chain lightning, which deals a decent amount of damage. Plus you can chain people with it, which makes your life easier. I find this very useful and I use it quite often since it recharges quickly. I tend to use this as a finishing move, or if I'm out of stamina, that is my last resort. But you can use it however you want it. I'll get to cards in a moment. His second ability is a electrocute, which in a small area you send out a shockwave so shockingly powerful, people are being stunned by it. Now for real, this is very useful when engaging an opponent, when you're buffing yourself, attacking the enemies, or you just need to run away when you're being ganged up. Make sure to use it before your opponent strikes you since it takes a bit of time to deploy the wave. It doesn't recharge that quickly, but it is very useful nonetheless. His last ability is Dark Aura. This ability, I actually find it very useful. It is essentially a circle of sparks that does a area of effect damage with a range of about 5 meters, which can be extended. I'll get to it in a moment. Essentially, if the enemy is running away, you just use this ability, and especially if he's low on health, there is absolutely no escape for him. And in fact, he actually does slow down the enemy, which I find it extremely useful. Now, which playstyle I recommend? The only playstyle I recommend with Palpatine is the obvious support type of a playstyle. The hit and run tactic can sorta apply for the Emperor. I find it not very useful because his Force Lightning isn't that effective to even begin with. But your mileage may vary. Since he's a support ally, his best ally is Darth Vader. How ironic. Now let's go for a strategy. A very useful strategy will be to use Dark Aura before you engage, then use the Electrocute and go all out on your opponent. And when you're out of stamina, use the Chain Lightning to finish him off. That's assuming your opponent doesn't use its block ability, no shoot you down for the next 10 seconds, or even worse if your opponent has a Yoda on their team, since a Yoda can buff his allies. Now for Galactic Assault, I do not recommend engaging in a large group of enemies with the Emperor since you have no means of defending yourself, so I will recommend going on flanking maneuvers and engaging on 1 or 2 troopers at a time. 3 is what I call max, since more than 3 could lay all hell on you and you'd be going down the shaft real fast. Here's a little tip. The Emperor, despite being really old, he actually is the most agile character. His dash ability lets you move quite a distance, and speed, I highly recommend using this tactic. It's great when you need to reach your opponent quicker or you just need to escape from a bad spot. Now for star cards, I recommend Growing Darkness. since Dark Aura can grow as much as 20% as long as it's active. This is gonna help you a lot when engaging an opponent. Next card is in full control, because his lightning attacks will drain so much less stamina. It's really that beneficial. The final one, I say it's a must-have, the lightning reach. This will extend your range of your lightning as much as 30%. Trust me, that is a lot. If you at least get the basic version, you are going to notice a huge difference, and you're going to benefit from this a lot. Now, my young apprentice, use all the knowledge you gain, and we shall rule the galaxy for your shocking performance. I'm finished. Like, share, so you know the procedure.